Welcome back, everybody. I am Meelz, the king of card games. I'm here with LJ Wheeler. This is episode 202 of The Lookout. How do you feel? Week 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! How are we feeling?
I'm so confused on so many things.
Okay, fair. You know what? I'm going to hold, before we get started, I'm going to hold some questions and stuff. But I want to ask you, have you seen this thing on Twitter about the 100 niggas versus the gorilla?
Yes, I have. And so here's my thing. All right.
Okay, let's talk
niggas
about
are game planning all the way wrong. Everyone is seeing it as everybody's gonna try to 1v1 the gorilla.
No. We jumping the gorilla.
That's what I'm saying. I think people are underestimating how many people 100 people is.
Yeah, no, I mean, someone will get hurt for sure.
No, there will be casualties. Listen, there will be casualties.
It might be like 3.
There will be a couple purple hearts given out.
I don't think he'll kill anybody. If we get to the point where if we have 100 niggas and someone dies,
that's what I'm saying. Like, a gorilla has 2 arms, and yes, a teeth.
It's muscle, and it's like
but it's just like, and also too, 100. Like, I'm the team that I'm picking. I'm picking the most effective 100 niggas I can. It's not gonna be no little niggas or some niggas that are working desk jobs. Like, no, we're getting defensive linemen.
Ben Wallace.
The
rest of the 04 Pistons and everybody who's in the Pacers.
Listen, we're getting 90% of it is gonna be the people who are involved with Malice in the Palace. All right, absolutely. If you threw a punch during that, you're on the team.
Jermaine O'Neal, you're in. Come on,
you're in. That's why I'm like, and also too, you look at, they're like, a gorilla is 6 foot, 400 pounds. I'm like, that is literally a defensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, granted, does it have denser muscles and bones and all that stuff? Yes. I'm not gonna underestimate how strong and powerful actual one gorilla is.
Yeah. But I don't feel like it has the limiters that we have on our body.
But I'm also not gonna underestimate how many 100 niggas is.
Like, a knee to the skull might take them down. Like a hard knee to the back of the head, because that's what I'm going for. I'm not actually running straight forward.
No, you're not. You're aiming for vitals, but also too, could you think of an average human being? Could you imagine an average human being getting jumped by 100 people? People would be like, "Whoa, that's so many people!" Like a gorilla. If 100 people jumped on top of a gorilla would have to struggle. It would. If everyone's like, we're gonna see it's like everyone's game plan is we're gonna send one guy at a time. like you're gonna wear the gorilla down one. All 100 big circle enclosed. We all gotta come in at once.
Sure. Someone grabs its legs, takes it down.
Once it got 2 hands of people's skulls, and 40 more people come in. That's a lot of people on top of one gorilla.
Yeah, listen, we winning. That's just it.
I'm getting Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, trying to think of any other defensive
Did you see my tweet? Could 100 MLB players beat a gorilla?
Oh man, what, 100 Aaron Judges? Oh, well, smoking it.
100 Aaron Judges is different. 100 Aaron that's more than humans. I'm thinking about every 100 unique MLB players. Aaron Judges.
I'm going with it. 100. That's what I'm saying. 100 Aaron Judges is taking out a gorilla.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Course. Maybe 50.
100 Shoheis is taking out a gorilla.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to there 100 Tommy Phams. Shout out to the realest nigga in the MLB. 100 Tommy Phams might take out a gorilla. He's a psycho.
Juan Soto go up against a gorilla. You run for the gorilla or Juan Soto?
Gorilla. Take him out. The fact that the Mets too are actually performing well is making me upset.
Come on, didn't they reach the playoffs last year too and got pretty far?
They reached the playoffs. They even reached the championship series.
Yeah, so
it's the Mets.
It's
Whatever.
yeah.
They don't bother me as much as AL East teams do. We don't ever our meaningful games against the Mets won't ever happen unless we play them in the World Series.
Sidebar, I don't know that much about baseball, but the NL East, the NL, whatever y'all conferences and divisions are that y'all have made up arbitrarily with all these random teams that are in them, I don't understand it. It's clearly not East versus West.
No. So there's two divisions. Yes. There's the American League and the National League.
Okay.
And then each of those
why are the teams in each division?
I don't know the history behind that. But it's kind of like the East and West thing.
Of course.
So it's kind of that's their version of the East and the West.
I'm like, why are the Mets in one division and the Yankees in another division? But I get it. But also, But like, I'm just
it creates some balance, especially for like scheduling because of like interleague games and stuff like that. Like you have you play each team in your division. So like the Yankees are in the AL East.
Yes,
they will play each team in the AL East for 4 series, 2 at home, 2 away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe that you play every other AL team twice. 1 at home, 1 away, and then you'll have some interleague games. So you'll play like some National League teams and stuff like that throughout the series. But the AL and the NL is just like that's their East and West, and then each AL and NL has 3 subdivisions. You have the AL East, the AL Central, and the AL West, and then the NL East, the NL Central, and the NL West.
All right, well, yeah, you've lost me like Yu-Gi-Oh has lost you.
Yeah, I feel that is more straightforward than
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, no, for sure. Let's get into Yu-Gi-Oh.
They started off on some absolute bullshit on episode 4.
So, all right, so let's get into it. Last time we were on Yu-Gi-Oh, we pretty much got to the plot, which was Pegasus, Kaiba, grandfather stolen, have to retrieve them. Pegasus has set up this tournament called Duelist Kingdom. It's on some arbitrary island in the middle of nowhere where a bunch of duelists are invited. Some of the best duelists in the world, where realistically, really only maybe 5 of the best duelists are there. And the rest are like NPCs, like clear NPCs. Like you reach into the island, it's like niggas in like cardigans and just random assortment of like Skechers and basics and all types of other shit. Just random people who are on the island that you never see. So don't worry about having to. If you see all these other people, like the nigga in the pink sweater that got driven off the island, he got a roll by basic necessity, but realistically, none of these niggas count. But so we get to Duelist Kingdom. Pegasus essentially is like, hey, welcome to my kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we about to duel. This is gonna have some extra rules, and we get that episode started. I want to field questions from you before we get things going, because I know you have questions. And to be honest with you, the anime is not the best way to figure out how to play this game. That is an actual real game. Not at all. But if you have questions, feel free. Not.
Because, this game that feels that is based on turn is like when they actually play it feels more like free flowing than anything.
Yeah. The rules in this show are not the rules of the game. The rules of the show is to enhance the anime quality of it, because there'll be various times where like Yugi's playing on the other person's turn, or like, for instance, this Joey and Mai duel, right? The biggest thing that happens is
Mai. What a bitch.
The Joey and Mai duel is maybe the most egregious thing.
An ass.
Yeah, that might be the most egregious thing that's ever happened, considering how it ended. We'll get to how it ended. But it's a turn-based game. Essentially, what you do is you have magic cards and you have trap cards. Trap cards you can play on other people's turns, because if they attack you, you can play the trap card. Magic cards are really supposed to be just limited for your turn, unless it's already played. Magic cards are used to enhance something, or like to throw your opponent off or something. And then you have the monsters themselves, which are another set of cards. Essentially, what you're doing is, if you place it in attack mode, you're placing it to attack the other opponent, but you can also get attacked yourself, and that's how your life points get depleted. If you place it in defense mode, you can't attack, but if they attack you, you don't lose any life points. Now, that is the basic.
And for your defense to mean anything, your defense points have to be higher than their attack points.
Right. Yes, essentially. So if your defense points are higher than their attack points and they attack you, for instance, for whatever reason, the ideal case of this would be like if you have it face down. So if you have it face down, they don't know what your card is. If you have a face up, they know what your card is. So if you have a face down in defense mode, they can either choose like, do I want to take a risk and attack this? But realistically, if you place in a card face down in defense mode, your defense is usually higher unless it's a monster with an effect. Here's my thing. All right. Here's what I'm gonna recommend. I want you to go to whatever local game shop is in your area, and I want you to buy a deck.
Okay.
I will
do that today. After we're done recording, I will pack my stuff up. I will go to the game shop. I will buy a deck of cards.
I will reimburse you. But buy a deck. Don't buy none of them new decks because I have no idea what the fuck. You're gonna have to talk to someone. If you see Joey, Pegasus, anyone you've seen in this show already, if they have a deck, buy that. If you buy some like new Neo Geo Lexix Fusion Neon and Evangelion ass deck, I can't help you because Yu-Gi-Oh has evolved in the past 25 years. And did you know it was 25 years? We recorded it last week, and then like 2 days later, 25th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh. I was like, boy, I did not.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. I was like, bro, our timing is always impeccable.
I didn't even put it together. Like literally, we did this because WrestleMania. But yeah, I want you to get a deck, and we'll go over the deck. Hopefully, maybe next week we'll do video. I'll try to find a deck too. I'm gonna try to find an old deck, but I doubt they exist anymore. Because the first deck I bought was, I think, the Yugi deck, and it has a Dark Magician in the front. Then there's the Kaiba deck. It's supposed to have a Blue Eyes by Dragon, and if you can find the Joey deck, which we'll get to much later on, it has the monster that he has, which is in the front, which is not Time Wizard or Baby Dragon. But if you can find those, do those. Maybe take a picture of them if you see them, and I'll tell you which one to buy if there is one. I'm gonna try to find one too, and we'll report back next week, and we'll talk about this, and we'll go through cards and shit like that, and maybe we'll do video for it.
Okay. I'm down. I'm for it. Because I get the gist. Okay, I get that there's monsters. You can enhance your monsters with magic cards.
Sure.
I know that there's different types of trap cards, which makes sense. Is there a certain amount of cards you need to have in your hand at one time?
40.
You can have 40 cards in your hand at one time?
No. Cards in your hand. No, there's not a limited amount of cards you can have in your hand. You have to have 40 in your deck, and if you run out of cards, you lose.
Okay.
So that is also a rule. There's a strategy also on making people draw an insane amount of cards so they lose as well. So there's the strategy. I mean, the strategy you saw in episode 1 with pulling Exodia, that's a strategy. The strategy actually you see in episode 4 is an actual strategy itself. So let's get into that, because this is like the first real, I don't want to say the first real duel of the game, but this is like the first duel of the game that isn't like a life or death battle between good and evil kind of thing. It's just a battle between good and annoying, cool and a weirdo. Yugi versus Weevil Underwood. I think it's Weevil Underwood. Let's talk about this. What were your thoughts about this duel, just kind of overall?
I was upset with it because he should have just really swung on Weevil instead of saying duel this.
I mean, they contemplated as they got off the boat. He was like, I should swing on Yugi, and he's like, I should too, but it would be best to duel him until some shit like that.
Hands first, cards second. We gotta squabble it up before we start playing these cards and do it. Like Weevil was moving too wicked. Like he was moving too crazy for me.
Mind you, he's the regional champion.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the regional champ. So it's not like, but then it's like you figure out that he got his championship by just being a real elite cheater.
Yeah.
It's like the steroids era.
Okay, right. I can see.
He's Mark McGuire.
He's definitely skilled at. I will say he is skilled at dueling, and so basically his technique is he has bug cards, and another thing I'll point out as well. There is no type advantages in this game. Don't believe the show.
Flying
does not have an advantage over regular shit that's on the ground. That's just not how this works.
They got real in the Pokemon. They're just like, you know what I'm gonna do? A fire attack, and I'm gonna burn the forest.
Burn the forest down. Yeah, it gets worse. But
he conducts electricity, Hugh.
Yeah, this show is legitimately ridiculous. Anyway, so I have in my notes, just prior to this duel, they introduce all the important characters that you need to know, except maybe one. We'll get to actually two important characters later on, after these set of episodes. But you've already seen one where they're like, is that Bakura? I'll tell you, literally, Bakura is the next episode after this. So you'll understand who Bakura is after a while. And realize why he's important. And he's actually important for the show long term, like all the way until the end. But everyone else are jobbers, including Weevil. To be honest,
I was like, damn. I said my son Weevil was already getting sent home off rip. Oh, well, that's crazy.
His strategy was he wants to summon the Great Moth. Essentially, he wants to summon the perfectly ultimate Great Moth, but he only gets the Great Moth because Yugi attacks the cocoon of evolution before it's finished doing. So the perfectly ultimate Great Moth, which is shown in season 2, because he does return, is stronger than the Great Moth. But
of course he returns.
Okay, but also in this as well, we also have to note there are stars on each of these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If you have 5 stars as a monster, you have to tribute a card. So you have to essentially like, okay, I'm going to tribute one of my cards to be able to summon this 5-star or higher card. And I think if it's 8 stars or higher, you have to tribute 2 monsters. There are no tributes.
Wait, so that means I gotta sacrifice?
Yes, essentially. You have to sacrifice the card. That's even better terms. I don't know why I use tribute. You have to sacrifice a card.
Because you're too locked in. You gotta remember I'm a beginner at this. I ain't getting it.
So there are no sacrifices in this show. Niggas just throw shit on the field, which is another problem in this thing. But I guess it's like Pegasus's rules. That's the guys they're putting under. Either way, this is the first true duel of the game. You get all the theatrics of the duel of you've revealed my trap card is a big one, and attack his life points directly, and all the strategy and rules. And this is the posturing you play with it. And to be honest with you, it's a posturing that I did as a kid as well. Like, you don't have to speak every time you play a card. You don't have to say, I summon the Celtic Guardian in attack mode. But we used to do that as kids because they did this in the show. So I'd be like, okay, I summon Skull in defense mode, face up, But you don't have to do all of that. But it helps. You know what I'm saying? But realistically,
get you into it.
If you into it, if you think you about to win, get your, talk your shit. I'm playing Jinzo, which is the card in season 2. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Yugi offers up 1-star chip and Weevil has to do 2 is crazy. And it's like, I will also.
Yeah, that was wow. I mean, unless they did a all for nothing,
I mean, that was essentially it. It was all for nothing. But the mere fact that he only has 1-star chip and you have 2, and you put both of them up anyway, is crazy. I would have been like, nah. But so now, when Weevil loses, he kicked off the island. Because
shout out to Joey. You don't need this glove anymore.
Dead ass though. But the mere fact that like also 2 other people are like walking around with Yugi and Joey with no star chips and they're just perfectly fine on the island, like no gloves, no star chips.
And they've ran into security multiple times, and security has never brought it up.
Yeah, not at all. Mai pulls up during this, during this duel.
I already made a tweet, but I was just like, Mai definitely is participating in $200 dates and splitting rent conversations.
She is the original city girl of anime. She is someone who she wants you to believe that, but the venom that Taya has for her just off rip is crazy. It's like, I'm the only girl in this cast. Was this bitch showing up? And da-da-da. So the anger between them is crazy, actually. Like, because she doesn't know her at all. But it's like, Mai, you can't talk about my friends like that. Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, we're okay.
No,
All right.
Mai was definitely getting under people's skins
Yeah,
immediately.
no, for sure. Because
She
she's
came
like,
up
yo,
was just
this.
like she came up with just like friends. What's the need for friends?
Yeah, who needs friends? Nigga, it's a one-on-one duel, and this is a regional champion, and this is a nigga who's playing for the first time, really. Like, I know he good, but he ain't regional champion good. Like, I just saw this nigga on TV beat people with cards. Nonetheless, this duel, I'll save the specifics for everyone. This duel is he thinks he can beat him because he doesn't have Exodia. But he doesn't know that Yugi and Yami Yugi, I guess, which is what we God. The name of Yugi, the spirit that inhabits the Millennium Puzzle.
Yo, okay, so
Okay.
my thing is,
Sure.
first couple episodes, it felt that like Yugi can summon him just by saying the magic words Yu-Gi-Oh! Then he's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm in duel mode, all right? But then it just gets to a point where he just starts popping up. And I just feel like it's not what Yugi's consent. He's just kind of just like.
So they have an
like they bring up the words duel and he pops up like, y'all talking about a duel?
Essentially. Yes, essentially that is how that works. Yes. Yes. Essentially. He has consent to show up at any point, especially when there's a duel that is happening. He has full consent. It's not that Yugi's trash at duels. It's just that he's more confident, sexier, and taller when he's dueling with this nigga. So shout out to him. So Yugi, essentially, this whole thing to summon the perfectly ultimate Great Moth. You only get to summon the Great Moth. It's like, oh my god, he summoned the Great Moth. Yugi's down to 50 life points until he pulls his card, which burns the entire field down. And
wait, then he had no, that's not. Is that he had the mist too, right?
Going the mist,
on?
Yeah. The magical mist, which is able to drench the bug, but make Summon Skull's electric attack again. This is not. Summon Skull is a great card. Don't get me wrong. Summon Skull is an amazing card. At least it was 25 years ago. I have no idea where it holds up now. But Summon Skull was a great card because it's it's as strong attack wise as Dark Magician. But Dark Magician requires 2 sacrifices, and Summon Skull only requires 1. So great bang for your buck. But it allows it to raise attack 30% is what it says on the card. But it manages to raise this nigga's life points, attack points by a full 1,000. And he's able to beat them almost instantly. So yeah, it's a Yugi.
I mean, okay, look, he gets pushed to the brink. I like that it wasn't just like a squash match. It took multiple episodes.
You're going to realize that
Yugi not as good.
Yugi's great, but the heart of the cards thing is bullshit. Is what it is. Heart of the cards is essentially Yugi pulling the best card that he needs at the perfect time. Cards that you don't even realize is in his deck because he only has 40 cards, but you see him within a set of. He will pull the most obscure magic card, monster card, one other card that you had no idea was in his deck. And it was like, yes, the heart of the cards has guided me to winning this thing. Heart of Cards is bullshit. Like, it's the biggest bullshit. It's the biggest OP, ridiculous anime bullshit in this game. Like, the mere fact that he managed to pull the magical mist card out of nowhere is crazy. But this is this is the reason why it's not bullshit is because this is one of the earlier episodes. But as you get to the later episodes, it gets crazier, the shit that he pulls. Like, so I'm just letting you know, Heart of the Cards. Heart of the Cards is bullshit. So anyway, they beat Weevil, take his glove. and take his star chips. He gets booted off the island. You don't take any of his bug monsters. You don't want none of that bullshit. But yeah. Then you have Joey's first official duel, and they are letting us know they're heavy, they're laying it on hard about Serenity. And he's doing it for Serenity, Yug. Like he's doing it for my sister, for you get her eye surgery.
Oh yeah, what a horrible. We should have spoken. I mean, I know we spoke on it a bit last episode, but what? She's going blind?
Yeah, she's going blind.
That's it. I'm like over here thinking, like, I'll never be able to see you again. I'm just like,
yeah, but if you can avoid going blind, I
get
guess
the
you
cataract surgery, bro. Like,
I guess this is to pay for that because health insurance in this company. This was pre-Obamacare. This is I don't know actually what Japan's health. They probably have fire healthcare. What am I saying?
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure their healthcare over there is amazing.
Everyone is thriving. Like I'm almost sure.
I am positive she can get that eye surgery for free.
Yeah, or some or Heart of the Cards will figure it out.
Yeah. But it wasn't in the heart of the cards for her to get that surgery for free.
Absolutely. So Joey's having his first duel ever. This is his first official tissue duel since the first few episodes of the game. And Mai is like, what? I'm hearing someone having their first duel ever. I'm gonna take advantage of that because she's been taking advantage of all the other card players in this game. Because she has been using this strategy that she is psychic. And I use psychic with air quotes because she is not psychic at all. My losing in about half of an episode is crazy. To someone who's dueled, this is literally the first time ever that he's dueled.
The fact that Joey closes his eyes and all of a sudden becomes Daredevil pissed me off so much. Turns out Matthew Murdock closes his eyes and goes, there's multiple scents in the air.
Yeah.
That's how she's doing it.
And Yami Yugi is like, you figured it out. You've had it the whole time. He's known on the side for a while, but you wanted Joey to figure it out.
Remember what Grandpa taught you.
Exactly. And then finding out that Mai only has harpies in her deck is also kind of insane. And the mere fact, again, flying, again, has no advantage over this. The field type thing I can buy. The flying has advantage over ground types, and that's why they start beating the thing ass. It's insane. But they find out each of her card has a perfume scent. You know what I'm saying? And that allows her to see which cards are coming so she can psych her opponent out. We get to the end. The end is the biggest bullshit that there is. The end is essentially... he uses, which is the thing, you can use Time Wizard and Baby Dragon. Now you have to use polymerization, but for the stakes of this anime, they use the Time Wizard effect, and it makes Baby Dragon into Thousand Dragon, and it also makes the Harpy Ladies wild, old, and decrepit, and trash, and all types of other stuff like that. I don't know why that happens. I don't know why they wouldn't become wiser like all the other shit, but hey, fuck it. Become just old, like Angela Bassett ass Harpy Ladies or something along those lines.
Yeah, it was
Instead of just becoming like,
I was like, dang, they aged horribly.
Dust heads, you know what I'm saying?
Man, no, for real. Like, why are they turning like the legit crackheads?
So she had 2,000 attack points, and Joey uses his Thousand Dragon to not only attack one of the harpies, but all three of them at the same time, which is a clear, you can only attack one monster at a time. So the fact he attacked all three at the same time to get her life points from 2,000 to 0 is the biggest bullshit in this game. She should have at least had 2 other turns to at least recover herself. But I guess the episode was ending. So they were like this. Next episode is the Mako Tsunami battle. What are your thoughts on this? Because this is probably the first duel I remember watching, and I didn't like it.
I felt that was really intense just over a piece of fish.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of spiraled out of control.
I was like, dang, it's kind of escalated quickly. Well, okay, let's say this. They kind of ran up on his,
We're hungry. Oh shit. There's Mako Tsunami, that's food. Can't have my food, or whatever the fuck he says. How about I challenge you to a duel? Let's do it.
He's
This
like,
is a basic.
he was like, you fell into my trap. You thought
Right.
this delicious smoked bass was for free?
Yeah.
No.
You have to duel me, and that is the basic premise of the show. That is the basic. And they'll take real life situations and real life problems and say, actually, to solve this, let's duel. Card games, children's card games at that.
Yeah, it was.
It's very water based.
Especially, I mean, honestly, I'm even not being well versed in the card game. I knew that there was no such thing as type advantages.
Yeah.
And for this entire battle to be a type advantage battle, I was like, this. I'll just say that this was not the battle that I took any type of strategy from.
Absolutely, because Yugi wins the battle by destroying the moon, a card that he also plays. Which
Can you
essentially
even do that? Can you destroy
no.
your own card? Yeah, okay, that's what I
Oh,
thought.
can you destroy your own card? Yeah, you can, but you wouldn't. um, but he destroys the moon. I don't think you can destroy your own magic card, but he destroys the moon, which ruins the tides of the water, and now all of the fish are like very like weak again. So then he uses his monsters to essentially send his attack points literally from 2000 to 0. So again, you know, this duel. But then we get to the last number of episodes, episode 8 through 10, which is the Kaiba plot of it all. So we're back to Kaiba. And there's a lot going on in this plot that somehow Pegasus is mixed up into. Because he didn't seem like he was involved at first, but now he is fully involved. We meet Mokuba, young TK.
He needs a belt.
Also, shout out to TK. He is going to jail, and he is.
Oh yeah, he is going to jail for a very, very long time.
He is never leaving. He looks like a grown adult now. He looks adult K. Like he looks special K right now.
This is Mega Evolution TK. That's what he looked like.
He looks so. I was like, damn, hairline didn't hold up. Like, just look mad grown features now. Like,
yeah, he got the Muslim glasses on.
Yeah, I was like, damn, how long was
you know he definitely converted inside.
How long was the song?
He's definitely leading prayer. He's leading Juma.
TK, how long ago was The Race? The Race was released in 2017. It is 2025. That nigga has pretty much been in jail the entire time. Like from the first, he didn't even really get a second single.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that he's only 24 years old.
Crazy. Oh, he got "I Love My Choppa" remix. That was the second single. Which seems very bad.
Yeah, in hindsight.
In hindsight, it's pretty bad. Like, kind of terrible. So Mokuba escapes the castle, and Chrome lets Pegasus know while Pegasus is enjoying his fruit juice, as they say. You also learn a lot of these things have been edited for kids television.
Shout out to Pegasus.
He's great. What's your thoughts on Pegasus early in the show? I love him.
I think I said in the last. He's if Prince got into card games.
Because he is.
What kind of like? He's just an anomaly of things. Like he snacks on gorgonzola. Like gorgonzola isn't like a snacking cheese,
but he does.
What he does
he
it.
snacks on.
He said fruit juice. That was definitely wine.
He's it. They said comic books, which he really means manga. He's reading manga. Yeah, he's a big manga fan.
He's like, man, I just want to read my comics and drink my wine and eat my gorgonzola cheese. I'm just like, what a mix.
So he captured
Mokuba. Getting interrupted. He's like, bitch.
He captured Mokuba off screen, but Mokuba is the younger brother of Kaiba. And so we get this entire plot of how the Kaiba brothers, the Kaiba Corporation is now under attack, essentially. And this all goes back to Yugi defeating Kaiba, which is nuts. it seemed like a very straightforward
It's
deal.
crazy how when this happens, it just kicks off a string of unfortunate events.
Yeah, easily. So Yugi defeats Kaiba in the first episode. He is so distraught about being beat by Yugi, who is a second-rate duelist, as he says, that he is unable to properly lead this company according to his executives. So his executives go behind his back and take a meeting with Maximilian Pegasus. They say, we want actually you to take over the company, but we cannot sign over the company. This is turning into Severance. We cannot take over we can't thing the company unless a Kaiba brother is present to sell the company. So what we're going to do is we're going to kidnap Kaiba's younger brother, who's the only known Kaiba in existence. And then we're gonna kill Kaiba, Seto Kaiba. So we're gonna. It's like something unfortunate will happen to him. You know, Pegasus has his goons and shit like that. So we get to the point, and I'm doing this in order as it's kind of thrown all over the place in the next couple of episodes. So as Kaiba is trying to perfect a new dual disc system, which this is the beta, and as you see in season 2, it's the dual disc system. I don't know if you ever seen it, but there's these large things they put on their hands. In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's in season 2 mostly. They're these dual disc systems where you essentially put on your hand and you're able to play like handheld. It's like, just Google dual disc. You'll see it. It's a whole thing.
Oh, that's the John in their arm, right?
Yeah. It's the John on their arm. So this is before that, and it's actually designed as a Beyblade, and we'll see it a lot more later on. And you'll see it in like a couple episodes. It's designed as a Beyblade, so he's trying to perfect that so he can challenge Yugi again. Because he's like, damn, this Exodia, man, I can't believe he beat my Blue Eyes. So the goons show up at Kaiba's door. Knock, knock, knock. Kaiba, where you at? We're coming to get you. Kaiba leaps out of the window.
Before he's the like goons. Have you seen the video of the Korean dude who was arguing with his girlfriend?
Please send me that video.
Oh, I'll do it right now. Kaiba hit that.
He leaps out of the window into the water, and the goons are like, he'll never survive. Mind you, the goons in the Japanese version of the show, they have guns. In the American version of the show, all you see are the guns have been redrawn as fingers, and they're pointing towards him because there can't be any guns in the American version of the show. So he leaps out the window into the water, never be seen again. The goons don't bother to confirm if he's dead or alive. They just assume that no one would be able to survive that fall. I'm like, nigga, why would he jump out the window if he wouldn't be able to survive it? Have you not seen Death Note? So then Kaiba has to get on his Black Ops. He has to infiltrate.
He just starts setting up VPNs everywhere.
He infiltrates his own headquarters, essentially. And they play the music.
Oh my god.
So that music was also like, back in the day, for certain anime, they used to be able to connect with American audiences, they used to try to give things much more of an American soundtrack. So you have this like light rock music, this like late 99, early 2000s, like pop, like they did it with Pokemon, they did it with Digimon, they've done it with Dragon Ball Z.
It is this whole training montage in the middle of this episode out of nowhere.
He climbs up the side of a mountain with a briefcase in his hand, which I thought was impossible. But surely this is Black Ops Kaiba.
Shout out to Kaiba. That at least let us know that he's still getting his activity in, staying physically fit for this card game.
Sure, of course. He manages to get to the secret base, which is underground of his thing, so he cannot be detected. And he goes in there and meets with his his Kaiba computer system, which is mad sassy and speaks back. And with Kaiba, you only have this to do that. And it's very Windows 98, by the way. Just in the graphics and the engine and stuff like that. Now let's go back to present day, because this is all happening in present day as well. Mokuba, who escapes the castle, is stealing people's star chips. Fuck dueling. You don't do that shit. We're stealing niggas' star chips, so we get to the end of this shit. Like, because dueling is for suckers. Unless you're Yugi. So he steals the dude in the pink sweater star chips, and the pink sweater guy is getting like choked out.
Yo, he was like,
this duelist must leave the island. And Tristan pulls up and he's like,
"That's security guard. That is a perfect representation of how club bouncers act."
First of all, Tristan pulls up. Tristan doesn't really do much in this show, but he does something.
He was like, that was the longest like punch screen. He was like,
yeah.
Ah!
And he pulls up, and he actually, instead of punching him, he judo throws him. And mind you, the security guy is like 9 feet tall. So, and apparently is like great at capoeira or something like that, because
he gets tossed. He does a kip up,
and then comes back and like lays in like this giant jump kick across the screen. Mad gymnastics with it, but he has to get this dude off the island because he has no more star chips. So he throws him on the boat, and he's like, but they're like, yo, if we can get his star chips back. Mind you, Weevil's also there. Wild, embarrassing. Of being booted off the island, and you're the regional champion. And not only are you being booted off the island, you have to sail yourself back to whatever country you came from. So it's not like they're escorting people off the island. It's getting this boat with all the other losers, and y'all have to sail back to humanity. Mokuba pulls up, tries to battle Yugi. At some point halfway through this battle, he's trying to avenge his brother, essentially. It's like, yo, you ruined my brother so much with why you beat him by this duel. Now I have to beat you in this duel. At some point halfway through this, Mokuba is just like, nah, fuck this. I'm not going to win. Steal his star chips. Tries to steal his star chips, gets cornered. They have this long-ass discussion of like, let us help you and let us save Kaiba together. Blah, blah, blah. Security guy grabs Mokuba again and chokes him. And they're like, hey.
Bro, starts like, once again, this is a child.
Yeah, this is a full child. Grabs him and chokes him again, and also like swipes all the star chips and throws them in the ocean. So now Yugi has less star chips than when he started. Yugi was on a roll, and now he lost like at least 3 more star chips. So now he has to gain back all them star chips. Security guy chokes Mokuba, and Yugi's like, how about I challenge you to a duel? Because again, this is how we solve problems in this world. We challenge him to duels. And he's like, meet me back at 4 hours at this thing. And literally, whoop, next scene, 4 hours later. I didn't say I was going to challenge you to a duel. I just said you were the thing in the duel. And in the duel itself is zombie Kaiba. Because Kaiba has apparently been killed. And we have a zombie of him. And the only reason how he can prove that this is Kaiba is because he's using Kaiba's deck. And again, the theatrics of this show is nuts. So as we meet with the 2 timelines, Kaiba is using his like hacking skills, whatever that fucking means. It's like the computer's supposed to be doing this, and he's like, actually, let me just do it manually because it'll be done faster. I was like, this computer is bullshit. He hacks in. Every time it kind of like a Blue Eyes White Dragon is played, he manages to weaken it by hacking in the system and weakening the cards until he gets hacked back. So Yugi they eventually reveal that this zombie Kaiba is a clown. A big, weird clown.
Yeah. Like, it got real weird here.
Yeah.
It got real weird. Yeah, some other dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the first battle in the Wild Stakes, so here we are. They got Yugi on the ropes until Yugi pulls Monster Reborn, which is a card that is quite frequent. I think it's in everyone's decks. I think you have at least one Monster Reborn. I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. And you can summon any monster that's been taken out previously. So every monster that's been taken out is moved to the graveyard. And the graveyard is kind of like open field between both things. So you can actually use Monster Reborn to summon a card in your opponent's graveyard, which he does, and summons Blue Eyes, and then he wins the battle. And, you know, this is Yugi. This is what it is.
I just don't like even when they get on the island, they're like, there's a new set of rules.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you what those new set of rules are. It's like the only one we really figure out is you get a field advantage and an environment advantage.
Well, there's a lot of rules. That's changed in this thing. 2,000 life points is a big one. It's actually supposed to be, I think, 8,000. But there's only 2,000 here for this stake for a kids TV show. I think they up it to 4,000 later on. And a lot of things here. Also, I think Yugi kills the clown using his Millennium Puzzle because he banishes him to the Shadow Realm, which is essentially death in the 90s. And then they find out that Mokubo's kidnapped anyway, and that is how everything kind of ends. Thoughts on this arc that we have covered thus far? The theatrics of it, the Kaiba of it, the characters of it. Like, where are you at personally with this show?
I don't have a single character that I actually like.
I don't think you find one for. You might end up liking Kaiba.
Okay, Pegasus. But like
Pegasus, of course, yes.
Yeah, but I feel that's a given. But
you might like.
So it's so funny because obviously this is a show that is clearly created to market towards, children. And
yes,
at the time when this show was running, we are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old.
Of course.
So I understand how this show during that time could be very enticing to children.
Of course, yes.
You get these cards, you get the monsters, all these little things. Which is funny because the rules of the card game are highly confusing, and I'm a grown-ass adult, and I still am not understanding fully about what.
Well, you're just trying to get you to buy the cards.
You're just trying to get us to buy the cards. Essentially, end of the day, they don't care what you do with them. They're just like, buy the cards. I feel that Pokemon the card game is way more easier than this.
Really? I like this better than the Pokemon card game, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because I actually understand Pokemon the card game and can play it.
Well, no, this game.
I'm definitely would have a harder time if y'all sit me to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Y'all give me a month to actually build a deck, train, watch stuff, like prepare for it, and I went in. I would have so much less confidence going into a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament than I would Pokemon the card game.
There's far more strategy in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game than a Pokemon trading card game. Far more strategy. Way more strategy. There are a million ways to win. I'm not saying anything for the Pokemon TCG, but there are a million more ways to win in Yu-Gi-Oh than there is in Pokemon TCG. And there are a million more gratifying ways to win. I've had duels which have gone back and forth. I mean, roughly, if you play it standard, you should know who the fuck is going to win. I mean, you can go back. Maybe, I don't know, check a YouTube page. I'm sure there's like the greatest duel that's ever existed, and it's in real life.
That's what we should do at the end of all this, like, breakdown YouTube duels. But no, like, once again, I know that this show was clearly for children. It's clearly made to push an agenda, push a product.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to take that mindset out of it and just watch it as like, this is just an anime.
Sure.
And like, how can I get into it as an anime? But it's just goofy. It's just so goofy. and it's just like the dub.
It gets goofier. It gets goofier, bro.
I know it does. I absolutely know it does.
It gets goofier, and then once the finalists of the Duelist Kingdom are established, then it gets serious. Then it's like, oh shit, we have stakes. You know what I'm saying? But on the way there, it's full goof troop.
And I think the dub is. I told you the dub is horrible.
Dub is amazing. I don't agree with you.
It's so bad that it's good. Like the goofiness of the dub fits the goofiness of this show. Like Joey's voice, everything. Like once again, the fact that he talks like a Sopranos extra.
Listen, let me tell you something though. And I guarantee you, from everybody who watched this show as a kid, you remember this is like One Piece. You remember these characters' voices in your head. You remember these characters. People would never forget Joey Wheeler. I promise you that.
Oh no, for sure. They're very memorable. Don't get me wrong. Like they're like, I think you said it best. You're like, there's a charm to it. It's very charming.
We might need to get Pat on this show. I feel like we might need to get Pat on this show. No, I don't know if Pat has ever asked Pat if he's ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! And if he has, does he want to show up on an episode? Because he's great at explaining things like this. As someone who also he plays a different card game, which is not the same at all.
Does he play Magic?
I think he plays Dungeon. I could be wrong. He plays another card game. But he's played. If he has played both, he can easily try to say like which one has more strategy between Yu-Gi-Oh and TCG. Because I'm talking out my ass because I really haven't played a TCG thing game, but I'm almost sure there's a million more ways to win in Yu-Gi-Oh for sure.
I can't. Yeah, I don't.
The anime is goofy, but as most animes were during that time. The thing is that
I can't stop watching it.
No, it's a very easy watch. This is very easy to get through. The first season is like 46 to 50 something episodes, and you can breeze through them pretty easily. It's actually the second season, which is a little bit longer of a watch, but the rules are closer. There are actually more stakes. Second season, Battle City Tournament is known as one of the best tournaments ever in anime for a reason.
Yeah,
this is not one of the best tournaments, but it's definitely
Battle City after this.
Yes, Battle City's after this.
So is that season 2? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, we might have to. I know y'all did it already though.
We sure did. We haven't did a long form.
Maybe I hit a you and just make a long thread about it.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, Battle City's pretty. It's pretty notable with all stretch of imagination. Like it's a pretty notable, strong tournament. There's a bunch of filler that happens in the middle of it, but then once it gets back to the tournament, that is a tournament with massive stakes. This is like a tournament with stakes. This is essentially the first world tournament in Dragon Ball. Just on an elemental level, on a character level. Here are the characters, here are the things, here's the main character, here's his friends, here's all these other things. This is like a first one. Battle City is like the Piccolo Saga version of the tournament. Where it's like, oh, nigga's about to die. If we don't get this shit right. So there's a lot to understand. But what I'll say about this show is, first of all, it's very, very goofy. Again, what 80 says a couple episodes ago holds true. This is the greatest bullshit that's ever existed. It's a funny, charming show. It's by no far the best anime that's ever existed. So just don't take it as seriously as you would other anime. And you'll enjoy it.
No, yeah, and I haven't been. I think that's like the best. Like this has been the first series in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That we've done on here that I am watching this with no kind of like lookout analytical brain.
Yeah.
I am watching this and I'm just like, this is the most goofiest shit once again that I have ever seen. This is fucking hilarious. And it's not even like I don't even ever want like I don't want people to think I'm over here like hate watching it either. Like
yeah.
In an odd way, I am thoroughly enjoying myself because I'm like, wow, like I did not know the lore behind this, and the more I figure it out, the more I'm like, this is hilarious. This is so funny.
It's a great show. It's a great show. Next set of episodes. So I believe the next set.
Oh, Pat hit me back and said no, he has never seen Yu-Gi-Oh.
Never seen or never. He just never played it. Oh God.
I don't think he has any. I don't think he has any.
That's a tough beat. We'll figure something out. I know AD has played it, so maybe we'll grab AD. Okay, next set of episodes is episode 11 through 21. Again, these are it's just more duels. There's more Pegasus. There's more. It actually becomes a lot more of the weirder one. There's a double duel that we're gonna talk about as well. So it's a lot of things here, but yeah, it gets crazier. So I'm looking forward to it. If you don't know the rules now, you're definitely going to get tripped up at one of these duels at some point later on. But thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, this has been a great episode of The Lookout. I'm so happy don't watch this with that again, like you said. And I know you haven't already, but don't watch this with trying to pull anything out of it. This is the most terrible, entertaining bullshit that you've ever seen. So enjoy it as such. But yeah, any final words?
No final words just yet. Okay. We're chugging along. Hopefully I find a character outside of Pegasus that I like. That's what I'm on the hunt for right now. Is there a duelist right now?
There isn't one now, but there's one coming up that I think you will like. He's the one who's in the meme that has gone viral for me for until the end of time. So I think you'll like that character. But other than that, no, there's not a lot to choose from. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode of The Lookout. Make sure you tap into episodes 11 through 21 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, we'll be back. Take care.